Welcome to Clark's Creation. I'm Nathan Clark. If you're watching this video, then that means that you have probably purchased one of our ornamental solid wood outdoor tables. We've really had a journey on these tables. I'm not a big fan of making tables because there's a lot of labor involved in it, but we've had a lot of requests from customers over the years, and so we want to make sure that we meet the requests that are asked of us. So we've been through a couple of different types of tables, and finally, and I'm actually excited and proud to introduce this table, we've landed on a table with solid steel ornamental legs. So if you purchase these, we're going to go ahead and look at how to put one together. It's pretty simple, and that's one of the things that we love about this table, is that it's not, tables are kind of complicated to get put together and stand sturdy and last for a long time. So I think we've accomplished that in this table design that we're going to do, and part of it is the simplicity of the assembly part, is that we have an assembly that is both strong and something that you don't have to have a degree in carpentry to understand how to do. So let's begin. First thing, after we've unwrapped all our pieces, is we want to get our tabletop. All legs should be exactly the same. So there's no need for a B, or C leg. Let's just find a leg and we can work from there. So we'll put our tabletop face of the bottom facing up, grab one of our legs. You should have got a plastic bag full of bolts and screws, or, well, they're all screws in this particular case. You want the short little 3/4 inch screw that kind of has pretty tough looking threads on it. We don't want to use the big long screws for this because they'll go right on through to the top of your table there, and we don't want that. So make sure you get the short little screws like this. Find you a pre-drilled hole on the bottom of your table. You do not want to run this screw into virgin wood. It will split because it widens out very quickly. But you will see at the bottom of your leg, or the bottom of your table, that there should be 4 pre-drilled holes all the way around. So you're simply going to take your leg with the tab, set the hole of the tab over one of those pre-drilled holes, and start your screw. Then you need either a Phillips or a number 2 square, and just kind of screw that down. Now you want it to be snug to where the leg's not flopping around, but again, you don't want to go so tight that you strip your threads out. It is just wood, and wood can be a metal thread can force its way through the wood, and then it won't stick very tight. All right, so we have leg number 1. After you have done that, just simply rotate it however you see fit, and repeat the process with all 4 legs. You want to take a little effort into kind of making sure that the legs are being placed on there straight. But if you get them off a little bit, nothing to worry about. They will be straightened out here in the end. And these legs are not cheap tubing. These legs are made of solid steel, as you'll be able to tell as you handle them. They've got a little weight to them. And they will last you forever. They literally, and that's one of the reasons why we went this direction. One, I think they're beautiful. I really love wrought iron with wood. But these legs, unlike the wooden legs, which will eventually begin to deteriorate and fall apart, these metal ones will last for many generations of family. And because they are metal, one of the concerns is that, well, they may show some rust. Well, they are painted with high quality paint, but in time, if they get scratched up by the dog scratching on it, or it falls over a time or two, or whatever may happen, the legs themselves will never go away. They will always be good and strong. You may just have to put a little touch-up paint on them, and I think that that's worth the price of the other benefits that we get from the legs. All right, so now that we have these legs on here, you'll see in your package this little round disc made of oak wood, and we use oak even on the cedar ones because this actually has to play a role of strength, and there's no comparing the strength of the oak to the cedar. This will be far stronger and last far longer in a place of strength. So you'll see on this ring on the sides, there are 4 holes pre-drilled into them. So now you'll want to grab your longer screws. They will slide in through the holes right here at the angles. As the legs come to an angle, there's a hole there. You simply just push your screw through those holes, find a hole on one of those oak discs, and all you want to do is just get the threads started. Do not try to screw this down yet. Okay, all we're going to do is get the threads started into that oak disc. May have to do a little prying to get things down. That's no problem at all. All right, now that all 4 legs are somewhat attached to the disc, you can go ahead and tighten them down. But again, we do not want to tighten them all the way down. We still want a slight gap. I'm going to say 1/8 of an inch, but if you don't know what 1/8 of an inch looks like, simply what you want is you want to tighten it down to where you can still see a gap, an air gap, between the disc and the leg. We're going to need this little bit of movement to get everything squared up here in just a second. But you can go ahead and get it down to that point. All 4 of them. Now, one of the struggles that table builders have is getting 4 legs to set on a level surface equally. 3 legs is easy, but unfortunately 3 legs is a little wobbly. 4 legs is really solid, but it tends to have places where one of the legs may not fit just right. So that's what we're going to do right now, is we're going to set the table up to where it doesn't have any rock in it. To do that, either a flat surface, and maybe inside your house, kitchen, or something of that nature, or go to where you're actually going to place the table on the porch. And with it still being a little loose around down here on the disc, you simply just want to kind of give it a little wiggle. And what that does is that settles the table and the legs together with the floor surface that it's sitting on. By keeping, now I'm sitting down here on the ground, but if you were doing this, you'd want to stand over your table and just put a little, you don't have to put your whole body weight on it, but you want to just put a little pressure, a little weight, so when I go to screw these screws down, that everything wants to kind of push itself into where it needs to be. So by putting just a little pressure on the top of your table, you're going to go ahead and screw your screws down tight. You don't want to screw them so tight that you break them, but you can get these to finished tightness. All right, now we see our table is solid. Even on 4 legs, there is no rocking on that. That is how you complete the table. It is done. You will now have a table that will last you many, many years of enjoyment. Make sure that you do keep it retreated. Treatment that we use is PWP treatment. Over time, all treatment will begin to deteriorate and come off of your chairs. The oil treatment that we use, if you catch it in time, allows you to retreat without having to take it back down to bare wood. Unlike a lot of different treatments, they begin to actually peel off and the solid pieces fall off. At that case, you can't retreat over them or you'll have blotches. So you would have to power wash them or sand them back down to bare wood. The treatment that we use, the treatment that I trust enough to use on my own home, will allow you to just treat right over it as you begin to see it starting to fade and the bare wood is about to show through. You just take your brush and retreat it again, and it should look as good as new. Well, I hope this helps you, and I hope that you enjoy your furniture for many years to come. We thank you for your business and your time. God bless.